The good old-fashioned hamburger. Intimidating for any food photographer, layers of ingredients precariously stacked one on top of the other, each individually working against you, trying their hardest to die on camera before you have a chance to place the next one. Now, there's a lot of tricks to photographing the perfect hamburger shot. Luckily, today's shot is gonna be pretty simple. More editorial, more cookbooky, more about the story and less about capturing that perfect portrait of a burger. Simple lighting, simple styling. We're gonna try to create an environment. Like I said, it's gonna be cookbooky, but I'm really trying to have some fun with the composition. Using the colors in the image in the food to balance out the image and drive the viewer's eyes through the composition. Let me show you what I have going on in pre-production. All right, so hamburgers. I'm gonna have a blue wooden table as my background, giving off that outdoor vibe, and then I'm gonna create this diagonal line with some baking paper. I'll style the burgers right on top of this, not on a plate or anything. I'm gonna place one of the burgers on the third and one down here getting cut off at the bottom. I'll throw a beer bottle in, maybe a glass beside it, and some lime and a beer bottle cap to make a little story over here. And then I'll leave some room for the fries and ketchup to fill out this story on the paper, maybe add some salt and all that good stuff. And everything is really gonna be on the third, on the bottom third here, with some negative space up top. Then I'll balance it out with a bottle and a lime and a bottle cap story up here as well on the top third. The composition kind of creates a line between these two stories, guiding the viewer's eyes back and forth between these two little stories of the green and blue, and then hopefully trapping their eyes in the triangle of red that we have going on here with the peppers on the burger and the ketchup alongside the fries. I think a lot of times as photographers, especially when we're beginners first starting out, we rely too heavily on our checklist. Exposure check, focus check, bokeh check, rule of thirds check. It works at the beginning, you get a cool image, and because it worked once, you rinse and repeat. Your compositions can be more than that though. You have control of everything within the frame, and you can use it to keep the viewers engaged. Creating compositions that use lines, shapes, colors, and balance as tools to lock your viewers in can be much more effective and fun. I'm gonna take the back of my spoon here and just mess up the ketchup a little bit to make it look a little more realistic, like somebody used the ketchup already to dip a couple of these tasty fries in. You know, I have the blue here with the labels and the caps from the beer, and then the green lime and the guac creating a few lines there, and then these red bits creating a nice little shape. If your glass of beer has died on set, a cool little trick to bring that head back to get that frothiness again is just to grab a chopstick and give it a good couple of swirls. Okay, so I've taken a couple of images and I think I got my final image done. It looks great. However, this burger down at the bottom just doesn't look anywhere close to as good as the burger in the middle. And I kind of realized that as soon as it came off the grill. It just doesn't have those perfect grill marks like the burger in the middle. It's a little dark and it just doesn't look the same in comparison. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the burger down here at the bottom. I'm going to take another image with this burger from the top and place it in the bottom burger position, if that makes any sense. Take another image after I've restyled the top a little bit, last ditch effort, try to composite them in Photoshop and see if I can get a usable image. The editing on this image should be pretty easy. So here's the final image with the two burgers. And like I said, the bottom burger in the lower portion of the frame just really isn't up to par. It's much darker, has some burnt black and charred bits. It looked a little dark in person when comparing the two, but on camera, it's much different than the burger in the middle. So I'm really glad that I repositioned the burger and took a couple more snaps. And plus, compositing these images is gonna be really easy. So in Photoshop here, I have all three images, each on their own layer, the top burger, the bottom burger, and the base with no burgers. I'll start to composite these by first creating a mask on the top burger layer. I'll grab a soft brush and with black paint, I'll zoom in here and brush away this bottom burger to reveal the layer below. Actually, if you're working by yourself, I would say planning out this composite from the very start would be the way to go. I would have saved myself time and money and food if I would have just simply cooked one burger with the idea of repositioning it and restyling it in my composition and creating a composite. But, that's just me. I think the composition worked really well. Maybe the line created by those two bottle caps is a little on the nose, a little contrived, but I'm really loving the triangle of red that I have with the peppers and the ketchup. And I think it's a great example of how using color in compositions can really help move the eyes around the image. Arguments can be made to keep the composition very minimalistic. If it fits the subject, if it's highlighting a specific action, if all that negative space works to contrast with the subject, then great. But of course, the composition should work to elevate the subject. And when you see images where the composition is just a bit more detailed, your brain it clicks on, it starts firing. You start to make the shapes from the different objects in the composition. Your eyes bounce back and forth between the subjects where the color combinations and the balance and the symmetry all works together to grab your brain's attention. Fun fact, according to the USDA, Americans consume about 50 billion burgers a year. That's about 3 a week per person. Let that sink in. Man, I need some more coffee.